Hallelujah. Thank you very much. Episode number 487. Welcome here, Tropical Nomad, SpeakuP Monday. So tonight, again, one thing which I love about this show is the opportunity to meet some beautiful humans doing incredible work. And my brother over here, Made Janur Yasa, is one of those people which, I met, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And what he may not remember is that there's a term called Tri Hita Karana, right? 3 ways to prosperity. He was the first guy to teach me what it meant. So tonight we're going to be diving deeper into that. This is a beautiful Balinese philosophy and principle of which I have adapted just to be a navigation tool for what I do in life. It is phenomenal. So outside of that, plastic exchange. So for those of you who are here during COVID may remember that Bali being 80 or 90% dependent upon tourism went through a very difficult time for Balinese locals. And so what Janur did was to create this project called Plastic Exchange, right? Now, behind it, yes, is about, well, if you can bring to the village at a certain time and day your inorganic waste, let's say plastic, it gets weighed, let's say it's 1 kilo of plastic. In return, you're given 1 kilo of rice, which is a staple food. So you take that rice home, now you can feed your family. But behind it, I remember this brother, being an Aikido guy, our brother, was how do you change habits, right? So again, if you buy, you consume, and you dump, that's one thing. If you buy, consume, and sort, plastic sorted has value. Right? But when you mix it, it has no value. So I remember that just like Aikido and learning a new move, what is it? If you learn a move 100 times, you might have a vague memory. 1,000 times, maybe you remember it. 10,000 times, muscle memory. So what Plastic Exchange was really doing was helping to re-educate how plastic is handled, right? So I buy, I consume, and I sort as opposed to dump. When I sort, it has value. Right, so this is part of what we're going to talk about tonight. But then out of this incredible project came CNN Heroes, this global search that happens once every number of years around the globe for those who are doing something quite incredible for what concerns social impact. And they chose Janur. He won the CNN Heroes, was flown to the US, where he did Bali proud and Indonesia proud, actually. So again, and now he's come back. Some years have passed, has a great restaurant close to Ubud called Ekawood. So EKA Wood, Ekawood. Now, very long intro, I know, but it's okay, Lau. We can work with this. So one of the other things which blew my mind, right, is a place called Chaluk. Again, not so far from Ubud. Now, Chaluk, for a number of years, has had, remember, in any given household, 60% is organic, right, plus. So this village has had no organic, I think, or inorganic, but let's talk about organic for now, has had no organic waste come out of it in years. It is the most cleanest village I have ever seen or been to in Bali, let alone further afield in the world. And so what they've done is use these composting, which we're going to get into tonight, which is a simple, effective, not even procedure that costs $1 million rupiah. Right? Because think about it. In Bali now, most of the tips have been closed or about to be closed. But then where does the organic waste go? So tonight is also about, what Janur is doing with a great friend of his to solve this issue. All right? So again, very long round of applause. I haven't even started the intro yet, by the way. We're not even halfway through. But a round of applause for Janur. All right, so tonight's episode, how do you transform organic waste into a global movement and a source of community healing? So as I've mentioned, this episode of SpeakuP Monday welcomes back Made Janur Yasa, Balinese entrepreneur, CNN hero, and founder of Ekawood Restaurant, who turned a village initiative into a worldwide model for sustainability and cultural pride. So tonight we dive deep into how Balinese Banjar's response to waste became a global blueprint for regenerative living, rooted in the Tri Hita Karana philosophy and driven by community action. So, whether you're a purpose-led entrepreneur, regenerative developer, or simply passionate about culture, climate, or conscious consumption, this one is for you. And tonight, 3 soulful takeaways amongst many will be a simple and scalable solution to handle organic waste at source, turning trash into treasure, how composting fuels regeneration and pride, and of course, as I mentioned before, Tri Hita Karana in action, balancing people, planet, and spirit in daily life. Now, I think I've already done the intro for Janur, so I won't read that. So my name is Robert Ian Bonnick, the director or founder of Carrier Life Group, which is a gateway to Indonesia. And again, what we do is that, after companies set up and establish themselves, then we take you into your business niche. We service 10 different market sectors, but focus on 3: technology, tourism, including maritime, as well as medical and real estate. So yes, but let's get tonight's show started. Hopefully you can hear us on Instagram. I see a few things happening here. But look, Janur, I think I kind of overdid the intro, but that's okay. You're my brother, you understand. So look, let's go back first before we go forwards. So where are you from? And what about Bali? Because you've traveled around the world a little bit. What about Bali are you really proud of in what Bali can offer the world? So, 2-part question. Where are you from? And what is it about Bali that you think is something that Bali offers the world at large? What would you say?
Well, good evening. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the introduction. Actually, I was going to say, does anybody have a question,
It's over. We're done here.
So, actually, I grew up about 1 hour west from here. It's Tabanan. It's close to Krambitan, which is one of the oldest kingdom in Bali. I grew up in a small village. There was no electricity, no running water when I was growing up. But now it's like, high-speed internet. You have electricity. The road is good, and of course that's come with costs. Everything just move fast and all of that. But speaking about the past, when I was a kid, it's really going to rice paddy. It's like going to supermarkets, meaning like you go in the morning and then you go home at 10 o'clock and then you bring vegetables, you bring eel, fish, and that's how we live, And now time has changed, which is okay, What does Bali can offer to the world? I think it's not just Bali. When you look at indigenous culture, like Peru, Inca, China, I think there is a lot of wisdom, what I call it. And my teacher said, one of my teachers said, how can you make the wisdom become pragmatic? How can you make wisdom into action? There's so many slogans, like Tri Hita Karana, for instance, like in Bali, which is the harmonious connection, human to God, human to human, and human to the environments. That how the harmony is created when you have this balance. It's great philosophy if you put it in action. Otherwise, just become this slogan that good to talk about, good to feel good about, So I think that's what I always striving for, let's put it in action. like you mentioned to me, I like martial art. I like doing a sport, and again, I love my teacher quote, like, when you talk about theory, it's just imagination until you put it in a mat. Meaning, like, oh yeah, if I hold your hand like this, like that, you will go down and you cannot do anything. Well, let's put it on a mat. Let's do it. Is it really work or not? So that's what my background when I do plastic exchange. I went to my village. This is just go back a little bit about plastic exchange. It was May 2020 or something like that. I have the idea on Friday. I go to my village on Saturday, and we do it on Sunday. So like that, boom, 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 boom. And people ask me, how are you going to do it? I don't know, I never done it, So like you mentioned, like 1 kilo rice after 5 days, like, oh my God, I giving, well, not I give too much, but this is not sustainable. And then I start change the system, oh, there is many kind of plastic. So, and then we make categories. Okay, this kind of plastic, if you bring 5 kilo, you will get 1 kilo. If you bring this kind of plastic, you need to bring 10 kilo to get 1 kilo. So yeah, just put it in action and then figure it out. Like in the real estate, can you do it? Yes, we can do it, And then you go home like, fuck, how are we going to do this, Of course I can do it. How much? Well, let me look at my note, And then you don't have note, but you you do that.
One of the things over the years, right, that I really appreciate about you, 'cause you've been very, very consistent, right? And you've obviously, he's done some phenomenal restaurants in Ubud and all over the place, and now obviously Ekawood that you have now. But I remember after we would have these government meetings, right? And then, not mentioning any government, happens all over the world, right? Not just here. And I remember after it, you say to me, Rob, where's the follow-up? What's the action? Follow-up, action, result. Keep moving, So I guess then the next question for me is that why you like that? Right? Because again, I know many people that are exposed to many different things, but they're not so clear, right, on I need to do an action, whatever the result, I need to follow up, and then I need to make another action. So where did that way of being, that modus operandi that you have, where does it come from, would you say?
I think traveling around the world is also, some people ask me like, hey, what is the best advice should I give, and I said, go travel, wherever you're from, like just go travel, and then you will see something different. People do something other than your comfort zone, basically. And again, I will give this credit to my teacher, Richard Straussy Heckler, when I was in California. He's an ex-Marine, basically, and also Aikido is, and I mean, a lot of this different background. So for him, it's like everything in action. Otherwise you just think about it. It's just an idea. It doesn't mean anything. Hi, didn't see you for a long time. So that doesn't mean anything. Theory is theory. Doesn't mean anything until you put in action. So I think action is will test the theory, basically. Yeah.
This question, by the way, like we're brothers, right? So we don't really say like, I'm going to ask you this question in 12 minutes and you can answer like this. No, it just comes through. But by the way, you'll have a chance to ask questions in about 5-10 minutes or so. But the question which I never asked you actually, but it's coming up now. putting you on the spot maybe. Because again, what I love about you, one of the things I love about you is that you are deeply rooted in Bali, Tabanan, which is my favorite place, but you had this ability to travel. You have this modus operandi of martial arts, which is about put it on the mat. I love that. I love that analogy. Yoga has a similar one as well, by the way. Put it on the mat and let's see. So now, when you look at Bali and the different influences that is coming into Bali over these number of years, because again, people talk about real estate, they talk about foreigners, they talk about this, that, da. But if I ask you, right, where do you see the future for Bali and where do you see the threats for Bali? What would you say?
I think it's great that Bali have this influence. I always believe in a hybrid. Because of Bali have all of this influence, it's something that would not happen. Say like house, for instance. In Bali we have this house with different kind of compound, like house over here and then house here and then bathroom here and kitchen here. So when you go to kitchen, you need to go through go through the yard, blah blah blah. It's kind of like not efficient, if you will. But with this influence of convenience of Western, how the flow, if we I do it in my house actually, still we are holding the value of how Balinese compound would build, blending with that Western convenience. You have the bathroom next to your bedroom, instead of 50 meters away from your bed, but still feeling still holding the value of traditional value, I would say. Threat, I don't know. Of course, I didn't see as a threat. Probably, now it's like country trying to protect themselves, right? With the immigration, with this, with that. I think if we can work together, there's enough for everybody. You know what I'm saying? There is enough food around the world, basically. If we go back to this Tri Hita Karana, do you follow my logic here? Okay. Yeah. So when you look at Tri Hita Karana, actually, connection human to God is a dignity. Yeah. Because if you look at in your body, there is three dimensions in our body. So this is the dignity line. Yeah, which is the connection human to God. So if you want to dignify yourself, look at your 6 o'clock, what we say. And then this one, the horizontal one, is human to human connection. Hey, I love you. Hey, I love you. Hey, I like you. This is not connecting, but this is the prosperity. Because we not get along in the world, that's why we not prosper. Think about it. The war, this, that, because we not get along. Because my religion is better than your religion. My skin is whiter than your skin. No, but it's the truth.
Why did you have to go there? I had goosebumps. I was enjoying the moment, and then he brings it back down to color. But you're my brother.
But what I'm saying is because we not get along, because that connection, the horizontal connection, is broken, and that's why we not prosper. Think about the money in the world that we can solve the freaking problem. The hunger and everything. And then the last one is the connection human to the environment, which is we live here. We live in this planet. If you look at we only have one planet, one everything, one, we don't need go to the Mars, right? we have it here, So
you know, this is also, I've missed you, brother, right? Because again, I asked him that question. There's no plan, as I said before, but it comes up because we're going through things. And again, one of the things which I enjoy about you is that you reduce things, not reduce, but you distill to the simplicity of things, you know, like, I mean, yeah, like, you know, this line, this horizontal line, you know, of prosperity between human, and it's pretty clear to see that there is an interrupt, and yeah, to make that connection to the prospering, the abundance is clear, but I never saw that before, right, in that way. So it's sobering, man. It's sobering. Okay, I mean, look, one last question here, and then we're going to move on to why we're here tonight. Culture, right? Because I know that if I don't ask this question, people will say, Rob, why didn't you ask him that question? Like, okay, I'll ask him the question. So when you look at Balinese culture, you know, what do you see there? I mean, is it as simple as coming together with people? Is it as simple as dignity and respecting people's dignity, right? Or is it something else? You know, because people on the show, various times, conversations that happen now, you know, the rice fields are shrinking, the culture is being impacted to a certain extent, and so on. Government saying we need to preserve Balinese culture. So in this field, like, what is it that comes up for you, being a Balinese man who understands many things about the world at large? What do you say about that?
I didn't even know what the question is, actually. Seriously.
Well, the beautiful thing is that there is no question. It's getting what comes up for you when I say that.
So, yeah, of course, you know, like, what is the song, you know? Call one place paradise, kiss them goodbye. So I think it's like, you know, this Bali is beautiful, you know, not just beautiful as a place, but the culture itself, because we cannot really separate between the culture and the religion. You know, like is that Hindu religion, or is it the culture? And I don't know. It's just the way of life. You know, we do the offering in the morning, we do offering in the afternoon. So I think just happened in Bali, you know, or probably someplace else. But what I'm saying is like, what great about Bali is we live in a community. You know, we live in community, and it's if you have a good intention, it's easy to keep it moving. You know, once you get the right intention, you know. And again, you know, people come here with all different intention, and then I think that's what, you know, rice paddy shrinking with a lot of different reasons, you know, like the younger people don't wanna doing this farming anymore, building accommodation is making more money. I mean, it's a complex situation. We just cannot like say, well, let's just keep Bali as Bali. You know, it's almost like Bali also need to grow, right? Like you go to Amazon, don't let them grow, but let us grow. You know, keep yourself like that, because we like to see you on a cage like that. You know, so. But I think it's always when it's enough, when it's not enough, or when it's too much. You know, I think that's the question, which is there is no really measurement for that when it's not enough. You know, because we as a human being, we always, like in Bali, we have this dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You know, we have a calling in life. We have needs in life. We have wants in life. You know, when it's need, when it's want, it's kind of like hard to say. You know, well, I have my Samsung, but I want iPhone. Do you need iPhone? You know what I'm saying? So, and again, you know, I think the question is, it's hard question to answer. It's like when it's not enough, when it's too much. You know, I think what I see Bali now is going to that direction is just little bit too much without control. I think regulation would be good to not to slow it, but to make it more sustainable, I would say.
Thank you, brother. Like it's again, I love the show because we have the opportunity to meet great people like you and to ask questions like this, which again was not on my mind at all, but it just came through at the time when I'm listening to you, and it's great because we get a different dimension. We come with our ideas on what things should be and blah 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 blah. But then there's again gotong royong. I find so many principles here that lend themselves, to Tri Kaya Parasuda, that lend themselves to a discussion, that lend themselves to let's work together, which lend themselves to is this a want? Is this a need? What is this? Is this too much? Is it not enough? Just a beautiful thing. Now, my brother, I'm going to give you this to give you a chance to maybe, we're going to talk about the composting in a moment. So I'll give you a chance to find it, and I'm going to talk about this real fast. So for those of you watching here, we have two things coming up. This one is the I Am Creation Summit that takes place September 19, 20, 21 from memory at the Meru in Sanur. And now 30 of the best speakers from around the world. Yes, I am one of them here in Bali, local speaker. But it will be a phenomenal event for you to see, for you to be a part of. Michael Beckwith, I met Nick the other night, Dr. Espen, some really phenomenal people coming here. So I Am Creation Summit. The other one for you interested in technology, technologists, AI, commerce, the largest AI commerce revolution taking place. It's called Solution Digital Summit, and that would take place on 16, 17, 18 in Nusa Dua. All right. Okay, so we'll get back to this. So yeah, please take us forward and explain. We said before about here in Bali, this decree has been sent down, which is basically saying that the dumps where you can dump things, waste and so on, are going to be closed. So now it's households being 60% organic waste. So what do we do now? If you can't put it in the tip, what can you do with it, and what's the solution? So now I hand it over to you, my brother. Questions after this.
Just real quick, how I come to this, when I do plastic exchange, like I said, I just do it, and then along the ways that I learned that actually 60% of our waste is organic by weight and by volume every day. Yeah, and then I have a privilege to meet one of the crazy people also in Bali.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, a great guy, and he introduced me to this composting system, which is in Celuk. If you ever come to my restaurant and then really close from this my restaurant, I would love to take you over there. There is about 350 household. So 350 times 5, so like almost 1,000 people in that house, in that village. They don't have truck anymore to do the organic, because all organic is solved in their house. So what they do is actually, this is a hole just like a septic tank. You will see how it's built. But what I'm saying is there is actually organic matters underneath this. And we have a coffee, we have, we basically sit over there and then talk about it. And then, the question is usually like 2 or 3. I would say 2. Is it smell? I have a small place. Smell, no smell. And then they ask me, why is no smell? Well, the smell is actually, when you think about composting, there's 4 things that you need in compost: water, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. So it sounds like complicated, right? So anything brown like me is is a carbon.
Not like me, because I'm chocolate, baby.
So anything that brown it's carbon, meaning like if you have a leaf that already dried, that become carbon. Anything that green is nitrogen. Yeah. So when you mix this together, and then water and oxygen is from, so that's what create compost. Has no smell, because they break down. It's called it aerob. Yeah. But when you close it, when you put it inside of the plastic, yeah. What is your name?
Carsten.
Yeah, you're right. You can go home. when we were kid, like we go to school, oh, if you're right, you can go home. If you're correct, you go home. But yeah, so an aerob. This is what creates smell, methane, blah blah blah. So no smell guarantee. So this is my house actually. So that's the hole on my this tree is almost died. I mean literally. And then I put this next to it. Now it's like this is a sunkiss, Balinese sunkiss, and give me plenty of. So that's the plastic and everything we separate. That's my kitchen. That's it right there. Only 5 meters. So my sister or my wife, when it's done cooking, everything just go there. So look, I mean everything, literally, but not the kitchen sink. Yeah. So yeah. So every 2 years, 6 months, depending, and then you harvest it, and it's become like a compost. So the one that I have, we live in that house about probably 6-7 people. Already 1 year, it's not even full because it's always break down. So when people ask, oh, can I use the compost? Yeah. How long do I get the compost? I don't know, But I think the question is not the question. We solving the problem. That's the bottom line. 60% of the problem that we solve. Yeah. So this woman in Chaluk, literally that his kitchen, her kitchen. I mean, like right there, no smell. So if you go to this house, this is where you're gonna sit as a guest on top of the garbage, basically.
Just while he changed the thing. So many years ago, Janur came to me and said, "Rob, there's a place called Chaluk. You got to come." And I was like, "Okay, Janur." Again, when Janur says something like that, like he smiles now, right? When he doesn't smile and says, he looks you with those beautiful eyes and that strong face, says, "Rob, you got to come to Chaluk." You're like, "Tomorrow?" Now? Are we going now? Right? Changu moment. But it's like that. So we did an event. It was I was chairman for a year of this group. I think it's Impact Global. Reach out local. Act local. Impact Global. Thank you, Robert Beard. Thank you much indeed. So I took. Who was it? It was the people like Kevin Gerard, he was a vice chairman of Bali Hotels Association at that time. He's the GM of the Conrad in Nusa Dua. Malati, who was one of the Bye Bye Plastic Bag Girls. Malati, beautiful lady, and her mum, great people, and a whole bunch of other people, about 20-30 of us. And we all, Oliver from Nui, the electric bikes, and we went there. We were there for 4 or 5 hours, or probably more. We went around for a tour. It's phenomenal. When you go to a place like Chaluk, by the way, CELUK, Chaluk. Go there, check it out. Phenomenal, right? Beautiful. So yeah, just want to quickly interject there. So back to you, my brother. Yeah.
So we also adopt school. So we basically, I think we also want to change the perspective about trash. Trash is dirty, smell, blah blah blah. We make it effective, work, and sexy. That's what we want to do. Like this is in a school, so this is in a government office, so they can have like a lunch, sit over there. You can make it like a table like this, or you can make it flush to the ground, depending on your style, go to school. It's really like what Bob said. We want to train the muscle. Yeah, a habit is about training the muscle, not memorizing. Yeah, when you do it over and over, that's what's become habit. Yeah. So
Did you call me Bob? Did you hear that? Well, again, like, he's a handsome guy. If he looks at me like that, he could call me Bob. Anyone you call me Bob, I'm coming for you.
did I call you Bob?
Yeah, you did call me Bob. On camera.
So we also do this in a temple. You know, we're trying to do this in a temple can adopt this, this is I always said to the temple head. In a temple, we have this celebration every 6 months. So if we have like 3 holes in a temple, so when we do celebration and then we have so much organic matters, you just put it in that hole and leave it. Forget about it. And then 7 months later, you know, it's guarantees already compost, and they will do the preparation for the temples, and they can empty that and ready again for the temple celebration. So once you built it, it's really like you can use it over and over and over. One investment forever. I mean,
an investment, just correct me if I'm wrong, is 1 million.
More or less 1 million per hole. Yeah.
And that's installed.
That's already with the
Container?
everything. Yeah. So more or less, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass this around, and then please bring it back to me, because this is the only sample that I have, and then you can say like pass it over there, so you can say what it is, you know. Do not eat it. I know it's.
Listen, guys, I know what it is. I wouldn't be touching it if I were you. No, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not okay. Guz, is he still in frame? He moved his chair, you know.
I'm still in frame, yeah.
He's on frame? Okay. Questions in about 2 or 3 minutes, okay?
Yeah, so this is how it built, basically, you know. You can make square, you can make a circle, yeah. So it's 150 meters deep at the most, you know. Do not make it more than that. 1 meter is perfect, actually.
1.5 meters.
Yes.
Go. You said 150.
Well, I just want to test if you listen to me.
He calls me Bob. 150 meters deep. God. 1.5 meters. So not very deep.
Yeah, not very deep. Yeah.
My arm. Yeah.
So we also make eco enzyme. It's really easy to make, and yeah. All right. Okay. What was that? What was it?
So in your hand looks like a stone or a rock.
Yeah.
It's gray. What is it?
Shit. It tastes weird.
Yeah.
Someone tasted it. That was a bad idea.
So actually, I'm working on bringing a machine that will change plastic into that. So any kind of plastic, you know. I think the problem with plastic like this, you know, what I learned is like there is 2 kind of plastic: high value, low value. High value, you can give it to the scavengers, and then they will take it because of economic value. But what about sachet? What about you know, very cheap, that styrofoam and all of that? So yeah, like that. Yeah. So we can put in a machine, and it come out as a rock like that, and it's already tested, so we can make a concrete out of this. Like you build a wall, you know, when you make a concrete, you need water, cement, and then you need that. Yeah. Yeah.
Guz, remember the photos. Yeah.
And ta-da! Hey.
Well, live.
is that process?
It's not that long actually. Yeah, I didn't have a time, but it's basically you put it in, they go through the process, and then go to this section, and then go here, and there is bag over there, and boom, done. So see, that's bag over there is gonna, yeah. So it's expensive for sure, so we trying to fund it and all of that. We talked to the Blue Hope, we talked to Pegasus and all of that. It's look like gonna happen, but still,
Look, quick question. So remember, by the way, if you have questions I said 2 minutes about 10 minutes ago. Who's counting? If you have a question, right, raise your hand. The mic will come to you that you spoke on before. And remember, it's okay to plug yourself 5-10 seconds and then go straight to your question. All right. Now, before we get there, so Janur, what you've mentioned and you've shown us a system here that you're trying to bring into the country. So my question to you would be, if there was a way that people could contribute to you, right? Where is that contribution required?
So I don't have the place to put the money, right? Because I work with several people. I need to talk how we where to put the money and all of that, and I will meet with one of the key people this week. So if you got my contact, and then please let's make it happen, And then actually Bob,
call me whatever you like, my brother.
Just so we're gonna have this in Tabanan. We're gonna make Tabanan plastic neutral. So we want to make Tabanan plastic neutral as a prototype, because I'm from Tabanan and I work with Tabanan. So let's make one prototype, and then if it works, it's scalable. It's really easy, just and this plan is also movable, basically like the size of the containers. Yeah. So
just a quick interjection. So I started this Tabanan community, right?
Yes.
Make sure you involve me in this, please.
Yes.
Just you and me.
The reason that I'm not want to put it public yet, because I want to make sure everything is duck in a row, so to speak. I don't want to like so
I got you, brother. Well, listen, I'm here, man. Okay, you know that.
So basically the test is already done, the strength, the fire, blah blah blah, and then think about it. If you use this as a building material, think about the transportation, the road. Now everything is overloaded, right? Like the truck with and I mean it's for me it's like no brainer, and the biggest problem with plastic is the microplastic, right? So this will lock them in, with this system. I mean, that's just boring stuff, but it's important. So yeah, any kind of plastic.
My brother, thank you very much. Round of applause, please. Just saying you're awake. Yes.
That was coming next.
Come on. Plastic neutral Tabanan. Listen, what we're in. Questions. So we have one over here. Brother Guzman, when you're ready, my man. Yeah, he's got it already. Okay.
So my question is, how are you going to get rid of talan, which is the softener that you just showed in the plastic bag, that is actually something that goes out of the material when it's heated up to a temperature over 60 degrees and is also going into your food. That's why also these little cheap plastic bottles are very unhealthy, and they create organic malfunction resulting into cancer, etc. So basically, as I understand, this material is going to be enclosed, or how is this going to happen? Because it's part of plastics that will be washed out with the sun, that will be also in food.
It's going to be in a building. So make a wall, like it's like aggregate. It's not in a close.
I see, but the thing is, like, at the moment when the heat is above 60 degrees or you have sun shining on it, it actually becomes vaporized.
Say like you make a I don't know that, but from the what you call that, the test, I think it's it
can actually create health issues. So
Yeah.
maybe a good idea to check that.
Yeah, I don't really know. They probably need to, I think for me is what is the solution for now?
100%, I agree.
Yeah,
it's a
because-
great thing.
Yeah,
It's just that
I don't know. For that
health
question,
issue is a
yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
So basically, what I know of Brother Janur, what he's saying is that, so he knows that there's a solution there. When it comes to the mechanics and the technical specs, he's not your guy, right? But
we can talk.
But afterwards we can talk, because I'm pretty sure he's got it covered.
Yeah.
So other questions? Yeah. So is there any over here? There was one. Daddy, do you have a question, or are you just flexing?
No, Daddy is having a question. as well.
It was flexing. that to me was flexing. It was flexing. All right, we'll bring it back to you. Yes, darling.
Okay, so from a Balinese perspective, there is a belief that nature will take care of itself. So, do you believe that actually we shouldn't worry about what is happening in Bali, because nature will take care of itself and it will always have a solution? Because when you speak to Balinese people, the mentality, the spirit, the approach is always nature will take care of itself. Nature knows best. It controls us and it will decide. So what's your position on that kind of approach?
Well, I don't know, but I know nature will take care of themselves. Meaning, like, think about Nagasaki. Nagasaki was bomb. The nature will keep going, but us not gonna keep going. So yes, nature will take care of themselves for the nature. So, but us as a human being, we will be extinct for sure if we, just like what brother here said, if we eat plastic, we're gonna get cancer, we're gonna die. Nature can take care of themselves for sure, but what about us? I think that's and again, if you ask Balinese, yeah, nature will take care of themselves. I don't know what that really means, but for me as a Balinese, at a pragmatic, like, we need to do something if we wanna continue as a human being, not just in Bali. I mean, look at around the world. Some of they call it advanced country. Oh yeah, we take care of our plastic, and then where does it end up? End up in Malaysia, end up in Indonesia, end up in wherever. So still in our planets, So yes, for sure, nature will take care. Nature, us is part of the nature, and the nature will say, well, we do need you.
And then my other question is, do you have some kind of toolkit that can be given to Banjars, that we can actually communicate with the head of the Banjar and say, hey, you're doing this works, and can we try it in our Banjar?
Yes, I think what I'm suggesting is, like, a lot of us from outside of Bali, we want to do something good. We want to contribute to Bali. I want to give back to Bali. Adopting Banjar would be one of the idea, because a lot of this, oh yes, great idea, and then when we talk to the Banjar, say, oh, it's cost money. I don't have money, So they don't have money. Genuinely, they don't have money, or they have money, but there is different needs. Like, oh, I have a school, I have a family to feed. And then the other thing is, I always said like this: when there is innovation, there is three things. One is people that eager to do it. One is people that like, I will see. And then one is like, doesn't matter what your idea is, like, not a good idea. So if even when I do the plastic exchange, I always look at for the people that want to do it. I'm not going to work with somebody that I'm trying to convince you this is a good idea. So say like you go to the Banjar and there is 100 people in a Banjar or 100 household. Only 10 household want to do it. You know, you want to sponsor or they have money to do it. Do with them. And then when they see it, usually the second people like on a fence kind of thing, like, oh yeah. Great thing is the third category, if they convince, they're the one that become a champion for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like Four Seasons Hotel in Jimbaran adopt a school around Jimbaran, and then they make the composting hole and also work with a plastic bank. So really like changing the habit of the kids in a school, you know, instead of just talking about it. Hey, here's the organic go, separate the plastic, and then the plastic bank come and then they buy it from the kids, and that's become a collective money, and then they can, I don't know, do party. I don't know whatever they want to do with that money, but yeah.
Now I know you have a follow-up. I can tell Carol, she's like, I got a follow-up. What else? But before we go there, just so people know, how many Banjars was Plastic Exchange working with, so they get an idea of the scale?
It's about probably 250 Banjar. There's it's a lot of Banjar, a lot of people to.
So how many Banjars in Bali? It's always casting to ask these questions,
yeah,
you know?
So probably about 1,000 or something like that. I mean, it's a lot, yeah. Yeah, a lot of to do, yeah.
All right. Carol, you want to continue?
My question was more about, do you have a toolkit? Do you have a leaflet? Do you have something that's printed, that's on paper, that can actually say, hey, this is how easy it is to compost, you know, in your backyard. This is how much it costs. This is the material that you need. And and that is just so easy to communicate and to give away to all the people that you know in your backyard.
Like a guide.
Like something like a mini guide, an idiot's guide
call it toolkit,
to building.
Guide, toolkit.
Yes, exactly.
I don't have it yet, but yeah, we can create that. Okay. I mean, yeah, easy. Yeah.
Thank you. Other question, Carol, Helix. Yeah. Thank you very much. And we'll get to Flex over here.
Hi, I'm Helix. Thank you again for this amazing work you're doing. I'm curious in your experience with during COVID, in sort of creating the ecosystem that, right, you talk about, you know, how do you convince a Banjar? Well, I think you convince people when they can make money for a habit that normally they didn't make any money. They're throwing something away. It's useless. As you mentioned, if you create an ecosystem, suddenly people are making some money, and that's how you convince people, right? So, but I'm curious about the sustainability of what you were doing during COVID, how that translates into this venture, what it takes to create an ecosystem that catches, right? Where people are like, oh, actually, if I take this plastic and now bring it to the recycling center and make money from it, that's way better than me throwing it in the river. Curious about the progression of that.
So plastic action was the right moment, right place, on the right time, you know, because people needs and all of that. But now the opportunity is Bali governor, not just Bali governor, but the whole Indonesia, like trash is like on their number one agenda. Meaning like any solution would be, you know, appreciated. It's actually, what I'm saying is, this is not the solution. So many solution, you know. There is people burn it, people turn it into energy and all of that. And I talked to several Banjar in Tabanan that I do plastic exchange with. Especially for the plastic, to create plastic, making that pallets. So they said, you know, because now the government said you need to take care of your garbage. And I ride my bike not every morning, but so often, like, you know, 5 days a week in Tabanan, and I go up all the way to Batu Karu, and people still dumping their their trash. And I talked to the to the Banjar, if we go there, take their plastic for free, they would be like, take it, take out of my hand, and then if we can work with like making a table modern through using this material instead of using, so I think there's way that we can make this sustainable in a way, because we don't buy a plastic, and then we can sell this to developers and all of that, and really we can talk about green building using recycle, not just greenwashing, what I'm saying. So how it's gonna work, I think I know, but I don't know, but I can see it's working that way, because now people like, what should I do with my trash? Because like governor said, we're gonna close the biggest landfill in Denpasar, which is not far from here, by the end of this year. It was last year, but there is no solution yet. They just keep extending the closing, basically.
Thank you, my brother. You good with that? Any follow-up? You good? All right, we're going to get the mic over here quickly. Yeah,
Just
otherwise be
very
quick.
quickly, what's the role of the priests? Because there is so much waste that's created all across nature, in the temples, on the beach, with all the plastics in the offerings. Is there any strategy to actually speak with priests and work with priests so that they can educate? Because people listen to the priests.
Thank you, Carol. About Guzman? Yeah.
The answer is yes, we can. Yeah, yes, we can. It's yeah. Actually, we did in one of the temples create a system, which is there is a priest, there is pecalang, there is people who lead the ceremony. We work with the whole system, basically.
Whole ecosystem.
Yeah, the priest said, after you're done with offering, bring it to this hole, and then there's pecalang over there. Hey, organic there, plastic there, So yeah, we can do it. So what I'm saying is, we have one place that like that, and if we can have another place. Once one is success in several places, it's much easier to spread it out. Yeah.
Now, just before that, thank you, brother Guzman. Guzman's over there taking a picture. Janur, thanks for question, Helix. Carol, thank you for that question as well. So now I'm glad you got the mic. Again, Kim and Diane, two of three wonderful sisters, 3 Crowns property, right? And they were on the show 2 weeks ago now. I guess it's 2 weeks. And again, what they're doing in luxury field, but integrating it with Bali, in harmony with Bali, I think is a beautiful toolkit, guidebook for other developers going forwards. So in addition to the question or the comment that you're about to make, I would love to hear your feedback on what you've seen here tonight in relation to composting, in relation to upcycling, in relation to this whole field of how do you deal with waste. Yeah.
Really good question. Thank you, Robert. And there's a lot that we as developers, as you were speaking, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, as well as trying to create solutions for rubbish. As you were speaking, so many things were coming to mind. One, development is part of giving opportunity and growth to Bali. As you said, we need a bit of both. It also is a responsibility of a developer to be able to implement within not only their villa complex, but the Banjar, and really work together. I think that needs to be set in concrete. You just don't come, make money, and then walk away. You use what you have and the tools you have to educate So yes, I would love to implement that in the villa and start to educate whoever it is to be using the compost. Also come together in Chamagi, our development is Chamagi, to say how can we change that? You know, I go to the beach and it is just loaded with plastics and rubbish. So that's one that we can. The other is the children. Now, I'm not saying the Western people have the answers to anything. Absolutely not, because we will never compare your spirituality to a Western world. Trust me. But what we do have is a system, and I'd love to know your capabilities with change comes by changing children. And when you change the habits of children, you start to make change. And I know that because it might seem very bizarre, but Bali is very much like my home country, which is Malta, and it's a very tiny island. And at the ripe age of 7, I couldn't believe how people would just throw rubbish. It was the dirtiest island, the most beautiful island, so it's the same concept as Bali, had that energy, but it was just so dirty. It was like, why? Now that they've educated the children, it is probably one of the cleanest islands you'll ever see in your life. And that's because they educated the children. Now, in Australia, we have a system where we have young children collecting bottles, Coca-Cola bottles, water bottles, etc. Everyone, it's fashionable to drink bottled water now, although we have the luxury to drink water from a tap. And they're collecting these bottles as a means of, pocket money.
Yeah.
So they're saving this and they're buying Nikes that their family have never been able to afford. They're buying books and they're buying all sorts of things. So it will clean the rubbish. It'll take some of the children off the street and into something good. So it's like their own little business. And that's where we start to make change. Yeah. And clean the rivers and clean the streets. There will be someone who wants that money and willing to do that than just sit down. And I think that's, there's so many expats here that would love to see that happen for Bali. Not to change Bali, but to clean it. Yeah.
Thank you, Kim. On this, can you pass the microphone to our brother Deddy? Now, again, another brother who I love, my sister Kim, I love. I would love you, because we talk about kids, and when you said this the other day, again, I know you, man, but then I don't know you, in the sense that when you described what I'm about to ask you to describe, it kind of blew me away, right? So with Paduli Learning Center, what is behind it, i.e. your story? Please share.
Just before
you do that, give me time to think.
I always have this idea about the developers. I talked to several of them actually, but again, and no action. So I think when you build a villa, you need to have a toilet. You need to have this. I think this would be like a composting hole, like part of it, like part of it, because you go to the toilet every day, you making trash every day, and then if you have this composting hole, build 2 of them. Why build 2? One is the other one is full. You go to the other one is full, and then you harvest this one. If you build that in your budget, $100, nothing, and I think this has become like a selling point. Like, hey, look, your garbage, which is 60% of your organic garbage, we solve it right here. And the other thing that I always have this in my mind, like if you have, say, like you said you have your luxury villa, let's have a party on top of this garbage system, cocktail party with champagne, and then we talk about, hey, this is garbage right here. Oh, really? How much it cost? And can be like an event, like all these people that come to that luxury villa, adopt 5 family in the Banjar, adopt 10 family, like You know what I'm saying? So you have the means to gather these high power people with money to spare doing something good that lasts for a long time. So, and then they can adopt like 5 people, and then they can have a communication with that people. How they doing? You know, still have that feeling connection. You know, so let's do it. We'll do it in your villa. We'll do some cocktail party. Don't forget to invite me for sure.
They will do it.
But there also needs to be rules in place for developers.
Yeah.
Rules in place for that. Yeah. Brother Dedi.
Thank you so much, Brother Rob, and thank you so much, Pak Bli Janur. Can kabar Bli? Hey, I would love to have Bli and the team in our school, and the investment 1 million, 2 million is wow, this is really great, because we have that problem right now with the plastics, with all the bins. So we would love to, after this I would love to chat and then maybe engage with the team and then put something on the in the school. In terms of Brother Rob, your questions, it's because people like him, people like this, who really care about children, about, you know. Long time ago, Pak Made, he was an army, and he came to my life, and then I was 14 years old, knew nothing about life, and so he gave me the opportunity to learn, taught me how to write, how to read, because I grew up in an environment where there's no electricity, and my parents would rather have seen me in the field planting corn than in the classroom learning how to write or read. So that was my background. So Pak Made, the army, said, hey, there's a place called Bali. You know, if you want to learn English or learn, you know, how to write and read, go to where I'm from. 7 years later, after that, it planted in my brain. 7 years later, now I'm here in Bali. And long story short, I ended up I was domesticated by you beautiful people in a beautiful way, domesticated in a beautiful way by foreigners. So it's a really good mix between local and then foreigners' way of thinking. 7 years in Perth, Australia, come back, started my own business, and then doing the whole thing, and then founded Peduli Learning Center 4 years ago. Started with 3 kids in the garage, moved out to backyard, to 30, and then 50, and then ended up where we need to build a school, and then now we built a school, established 2 years ago, and now we have 270 plus kids, and it's all free. It's all free for them. It's after school programs. So after this, I would love to talk to you, Brother Janur, to put the compost, the whole thing. We need that. Thank you so much, Kim, as well. Thank you, brother.
You're not done, man. So how can people contribute to Peduli?
Certainly. We call it 3 S's. I love acronyms. It's easy for us to remember things. So one is share skills. So your skills. We teach entrepreneurship and effective communication, social skills, English proficiency, and leadership. So that's the main 5 topics that we teach these kids, the things that they don't actually teach at school. Okay, they teach academic and math, blah blah blah, but when it comes to the real world, you don't want people to feel sorry to hire you. You want people to hire you because of your skills. So these kids, if you guys go to our Instagram, they perform. They go up onto the stage and then they perform with confidence and clarity and proficiency in their English. And you're like, oh my God, 5 years old? You're like, how did you do that? Even me, sometimes I was shocked with their performance. So come share your skills. And then secondly, if you want to help, go to our Instagram, Peduli Learning Center, and then share socially. Peduli, Peduli, Peduli Learning Center. And then last but not least, if you call to sponsor the kids or even the teacher, more than happy to chat after this. Thank you, Brother Rob.
Thank you, my brother. Again, as Helix said before, we shine a light on people doing incredible things. And Daddy left quite a bit out of his story, but when you have a chat to him one-on-one, this guy is so inspiring. I believe I'm inspiring. I know I am. He's inspiring. But everyone has a story, right? And that's the thing. So we're all inspiring in our own particular way. And he's been able to verbalize it, vocalize it with impact, power, persistence, and focus. So If you move by him, hang out with him. He's an amazing guy. Kim.
Okay, so being sisters, Diane and I only need to exchange eyes to make a decision, and we would actually like to organise the compost for the school for you.
There you go.
Yeah, so we would love to do that for you. All right? So we'll work it out, yeah.
Goosebumps again. God damn. Woo! I love this. All right, we're kind of getting towards the end, but I don't want to stop. So, any other questions? Yes, over here. So, if we bring the mic back over here, last couple of questions now, and we'll give you a chance to hang out after. Now, for those of you watching online, so tonight is about our brother Janur, former CNN hero, plastic exchange, and now it's about how do we deal with that organic waste here in Bali. By the end of this year, the biggest one is closing. So, but it doesn't solve the challenge, solve the issue that we're 60% organic. One place, Cheluk, CELUK, go check it out, have solved this problem years ago. So there is no organic waste coming out of Cheluk in years, not months, weeks, years. So go and check it out. And I absolutely want you to plug who it is, because again, you offer a system of about $100. They can install all of it, right? One, and it's all you need. Beautiful. So after this, please, next time, plug, so people know who are watching here how they can do it, right? How they can do it. So over to you, my dear, for maybe the last or the penultimate question. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I was happy to be here and to hear all the story. And I think we as Indonesian, too born to be Indonesian. I talk not only Bali but Indonesian. So let's move forward. It's not only for villager or school, our school like Indonesian school, but also to let's bring this theme to Hotel and Restaurant Association. This is a big things. Hotel and restaurant. How many hotel in Bali? Many. Restaurant, many. And then they're making a lot of money. Let's bring this theme to this Hotel and Restaurant Association. And we just talk about the school, the local school. How about international school, Australian school, and all this, high-end school? What they doing? And we as Indonesian people, if foreigner come to our country, like, oh my God, they're coming from the first country, we are the third country. Teach us a good things. Bring a good things to us. Why only us giving the idea? Why? Because you guys coming with big idea. AI, all this, tech, big tech. Why? This is a basic. Why you still stay here? Why international people still stay here 20 years, 30 years? Why? Why this idea only coming from Janur? Why?
No, it's not only from me.
Yeah.
It's not only from me.
Yeah.
There are loads of foreigners who are doing loads of things.
Yeah, so let's get together. So like I said, why not international school? Why only local?
What you bring light to, and again, really want to thank you for coming. You come from a bit of far away as well.
Yeah.
Really happy. That again, like this whole episode and what SpeakuP Monday is about is three things, right? People inspire people.
Yeah.
Everyone here inspires each other. Unity and diversity, Bineka Tunggal Ika, and entrepreneurship and social impact. And again, every episode, that's what it embodies and embraces. And so happy to see your beautiful smiling face, right? To be part of this again, So now as we begin to wrap up tonight's show,
let's get together.
Right? Looking forward, we will get together. You can feel her energy. International's coming together. Round of applause, please. I love that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Pass the mic back to Guzman over there. Yeah, Guzman, beautiful. All right, thank you so much. So look, again, episode 487. I really want you to let people know, how do they install, where do they go, who do they speak to, right, to install these, septic or composting tanks. Let's call them composting tanks, number one. Number two, looking forward, is there anything else that maybe you wanted to talk about tonight or that's dropped in that you would like to share with people? Please take that time also to do it. You're going to be given a few minutes to think about this, by the way. But yeah, so plug how people can find it. Number two is, if there's anything that you'd like to discuss or to bring into this conversation or reiterate. And number three, Ekawood Restaurant, close to Chuluk, right? Let people know about that, why you did it, what it's about, and why they should come to see you. I have to come and see you. God dang. I've sent a few people there, but I haven't been there myself. I need to come. So that's for you. You got it in about 2 minutes time. For those of you here, I just want to thank everybody who's here in person. Remember, our guest is so truly important. But what you will find is that the topic is the one that unites the people, right? So you wouldn't show up tonight unless you were interested in the topic or happen just to find out about it, right? So oftentimes it's in the audience are the next people that you want to communicate with. Tonight, the Three Crowns Property Sisters, right, are going to support Paduli Learning. Janur over here talking to our brother Helix, right, and all these other conversational thoughts which are spinning around. That's why you come in person, right? Because this is what you can't get this online. I'm happy you're watching online, but in person, good, better, best. Good is watching, better is coming, best is interacting when you're here, right? So just thank you again. Thanks to our brother Guzman by himself, just working everything out from the internet to the slide. Oh man, you're amazing. Thank you for the audience for coming every week. And again, next week, what have we got? Trying to think. I Am Creation Summit, I think, is next week. If it's not, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. So I Am Creation Summit is coming up very, very soon. So again, check it out online, I Am Creation Summit. The other one is this AI commerce event, which is going to be 16, 17, 18 in Nusa Dua Convention Center. Solution Digital Summit, the largest AI commerce revolution here in Bali. All right. Is there anything else I want to say? I think that's about it. My brother Janur, great to see you, man. You're my brother from many years ago. I deeply appreciate you and what you are doing, what you have done. I deeply appreciate those things that you may have took for granted. But again, when you mention some of these Balinese philosophies, concepts, and principles, they stuck. Right, and it's part of what has been driving me for a long time and will continue to drive me. So my brother, thank you so much for being who you are, sharing who you are, and showing up today and speaking your truth. Respect.
Do I need to answer a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so now actually, when you ask, where to contact, what to do, this thing is not like what you call this, like patent, like I don't have ownership of this, but I have the idea about it. And also the idea has not come from me, but it's collectively. Actually, this is one of the way we divide house in Bali. There is a temple, there is living space, and then there is a place where we throw the garbage. It used to, we only have organic garbage. We call it tabu actually. So, but the tabu is gone, and because of a kid, people have kid, they need to build a house or become a hotel or become a restaurant, blah blah blah. But we keep producing a trash, which is 60% of them is organic. So we actually mimicking that process, the nature process. When you have small land, how do you build more room? Put it up, make a story. So we don't have that taboo anymore. How do we do that? We just make a hole. So it's the same system. So who to contact? you can contact me at my restaurant, which is Ekawood. If you go to Google, Ekawood Coffee and Kitchen, come and actually I built that. I built that place. It's like I love to be a place for people to talk about solution. Of course, for me, blaming is not a game anymore. So whose fault? Nobody fault but us. So let's find the solution. Like there is a solution being made right here. So. And again, adopt Banjar, where do you live? Make an impact where you live, and then if you cannot talk to I need somebody intermediate to talk to the Banjar, call me. I would love to go there and then talk. And then find a crazy people in that village. Crazy meaning, we call it gila in Bali, yeah? So, gila is like, gagasan, ide langsung aksi, meaning people that take action, not just talk about it. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be the head of the Banjar. So let me give you one example. This one Banjar in Tabanan, there was a group of people, young people, that every day, like every night, drink and drunk. I mean, that's what they do, and then they do it as I don't know, but anyway. So I approached that group. Look, you crazy enough, let's do something crazy. I said, like what? Like let's make it more modern. Like how do we do that? And then at the time I got the funding from Canadian embassy. So I find these crazy people, and they were like, I explain it, blah blah blah, and then like, yeah, that's a great idea. And we have the whole Banjar. I mean, they go out there, and if they see somebody throw garbage like this, and they were just like, look, we already make this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they can do that, right? Because they know they're crazy. You're like, okay, I'll do that, So what I'm saying is like, find that crazy people that in your Banjar. Doesn't have to be the whole Banjar to agree, because if you waiting for the whole Banjar to agree, nothing will happen. So go to 10 people. Let's do it. Let's, once they see it, it will that effect. So yeah, come see me at Ekawood Restaurant. Let's talk. Let's create a pamphlet. Let's create what is needed. Sometimes I have this idea, but I don't have the resources or the way to talk about it. That's it.
Round of applause, everybody. Janur Yasa. Woo! See you next week.